Alright, so I just want to go over that. Here's where it said put a new line at the very end. Basically, you're supposed to type this, not copy and paste. Make sure you hit enter after it. Once you get to here, you press enter. That creates a new line at the end of the file. No one did that. Everyone copied and pasted. I don't know who would type it out. They should have done better in explaining that. So let's see where we were. We did popping. We had just finished all this, right? So you should have, at this point, it writing to the file back. If you have any issues with that, did you get it working or have you gotten that far? Okay. Again, the general step to figuring out issues, unless you have some very unforeseeable issue, which I'm going to comment on now. Let me open that up. Because not everyone knows this, and I'm sure it caused a lot of heartache, a lot of headaches. The new file, or the blank file. But again, it keeps deleting. What's it? This is A2122. Alright, so when you open up Visual Studio Code and you type something, even if I close this file, Visual Studio keeps a copy of this. So even if your computer crashes, which is very common in computer science, you will write a code that will crash your entire computer. Usually indicates of an error with your code. Usually. But this symbol right here means the file is not saved. Come over here, we still see it right here. Make sure you're saving your file. You can be on the safe side and press Control KS. Nope. Control K and S at the same time. What does that mean? I don't know. You can just hit Control S or go up to save on it and save. Make sure these are actually saved for some reason. So, if you're having an issue with it constantly deleting, what I suggested was coming over to that write function and changing it to an R temporarily so that it's not deleting your file. But if you already got to the writing portion done, then you don't have to worry about that. So the draw leaderboard function. The last piece of the leaderboard functionality is to draw the leaderboard on the terminal screen. This function also includes two potential messages that get displayed. The first message is to let the players know whether or not they made it to the leaderboard or not. The code for this feature is already included in the draw leaderboard function. The second message is to let players know whether they have earned a bronze, silver, or gold medal based on their score. You will be writing the code for displaying this message. This will be require the use of Boolean logic. So let's go over some logical operators. So far, you have used relational operators that compare two values. We have equality, not equal to, so this is equal to, not equal to, less than, or greater than. However, there are additional operators called Boolean operators, often referred to as logical operators. I call them Boolean operators. Similar to relational operators, logical operators compare two Boolean expressions and are commonly used in conditionals and while loop headers. They're the AND operator. So in Python is AND. I'm curious if this will work. If true and true, print and is supported. Nope, invalid syntax. In other languages, this double AND is the same thing as this. But Python uses and are the words. I thought it will use the both of them, but it doesn't. In other languages, if you ever get into it, R is two vertical lines and is two ampersands. But in Python, it's and R. Natural words. So it combines two Boolean expressions. It returns true only if both expressions are evaluated true. So you can check to see if a grade is greater than or equal to 70. And also if it's the grade is less than 80. The R operator combines two Boolean expressions. It returns true if either one of the expressions evaluates true. We also have the not operator, which, let me test. So I believe not true. Doesn't look like it's supported. No. So in other languages, not is just exclamation mark. In Python, you have to do not like that, which it ran correctly. There was no errors. Which is weird because not equal to is this. You could have also written it as not, and you put your expression in and do like that. A equal to B, and then you can put not on the outside, or you can come over here and place it like that. It reverses the value of a Boolean expression, therefore it returns true if the operand is false, and vice versa. So let's work through this. What do you think x greater than y and z greater than y will evaluate to? So x is 4. Let me make it bigger. So is x greater than y? No, so that's false. And because and requires both of these to be true, we don't even have to look at this. This is going to evaluate the false. Note here is they're printing a new line character. Technically, so print by itself will go ahead and print a new line. So this is really printing two new lines in one go. So let's look at this. Is x greater than y? Well, we said it was false. Is z greater than y? So z is 12. It's true. So false or true. This should evaluate true. Is x less than y? 4 is less than 8. So that's true. Is y less than z? 8 less than 12. So we have a true and a false. I should evaluate the false. And then lastly is x greater than y. X is greater than y. 4 greater than 8. No, it's not. But then the not is going to negate that. And then, so that's true. And then the last one, this evaluates the true. Because x 4 is less than 8. But then the not negates the true and reverses it. So here you can notice that this printed 2 blank lines right here. So this is a new line character, and print by default the separation value. So here is the separator. This not the separator. Print by default adds a new line. There's a way to turn that off. In case you're ever curious, you can look it up. In case you're curious about what the College Board does, it's just the capital letters of them. So, displaying the achievement level. The last task you have to complete in the leaderboard module is to display a message to the players letting them know they earned a bronze, silver, or gold medal. The qualifying scores for these 3 levels are set in the global variables at the top of the leaderboard module. Bronze score, silver score, or gold score. So, to do 10 sections, undo the block string. The code currently has an incomplete if statement and 3 messages. Use an if, elif, and else statement to display the appropriate message based on the player's score and the 3 scoring levels. So if you're in the 0th index, so if your index is 0, that means you got first place. You give first place to gold. If your index is 1, that means you're in the second position. You should give them silver. And if you're third position, or index 2, you should give them bronze. Note that they use a different logic. Let's look at. I don't have it memorized. Okay, I'm completely wrong. So to get a gold score or a score, you have to just make it above 25. To make a silver score, you have to make between 20 and 25. To get a bronze score, you have to make it between 15 and 20. So that means that if your score is 16, 17, 18, or 19, you get a bronze. If your score is 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, you get a silver. And if it's 25 or up, you get a gold. I thought they were doing something else. I should have looked at it. So ignore what I just said. Basically, it already gives you your bronze and silver scores. So basically, you could write it like this if you wanted to. Change the message saying what they got. So if the score is greater than the bronze, but less than, note the less than silver score, you'll write the message saying you got a bronze medal. Then it says change the timer variable back to 30 and test your code. Play the game multiple times and try to score in each of the 3. So make sure, because in your testing code you probably set the score down to 5 seconds to test it. Change it back to the true value of 30 seconds and play, and make sure that you can get gold, silver, and bronze. And also make sure that works if your score is less than bronze. So whenever you write right? Whenever you're finished coding, one thing you need to do is go back and rigorously test your code. You need to test all the scenarios. Make sure that doesn't crash when you get a gold medal. Make sure it doesn't crash when you get silver. Make sure it doesn't crash when you get a bronze. Make sure that doesn't crash if you don't get a medal. Whenever they design programs, they have to come up with every scenario in the testing and make sure that every case is handled. We're not getting that advanced. For example, if someone types in a name containing a comma, your program will crash. You don't have to test for that, as it's beyond the scope of this class to cover all the cases. But do you know, in the real world, you would have to test if it handles all the characters. Recall the function that you added, manage leaderboard that you added. It calls load, update, and draw functions. Take a closer statement at the do and manage leaderboard. What is this if statement doing? So we come up to where it gives you. It checks if is the number of players saved less than 5. If it is, you need to update the leaderboard by adding that new player into it. Or if the score is greater than the player in last place, you need to also add your score to the leaderboard. So it checks to see if a player made it to the leaderboard. If the leaderboard is not full yet, there's less than 5 players in it, or if the score is greater than the lowest score in the leaderboard, you need to add that player to the leaderboard. Otherwise, the code does not update the board and only draws it to the screen. What do you think this true statement does? Now all the code is going to disappear. The Boolean is used to identify whether or not the player has made it into the leaderboard. If yes, a message is displayed congratulating the player. If no, a message of encouragement is displayed instead. Does it actually provide the messages for you? So if high score, it's going to congratulate you. Congratulations, you made it to the leaderboard. And if you didn't make it, sorry you didn't make the leaderboard. Maybe next time. And congratulations, you have completed. Now that I'm looking at this, I don't think I added the conclusion to the requirement document. If not, add it. That was a mistake on my end. I didn't. Add that. You can create a new file. At least Buck figured out how to create a new file. Okay. No, that was my mistake. That's it. That completes our game. I will say this. When you create your game as a project, you're probably going to use this project heavily. Because this basically, if you follow every instruction, this almost gives you the most of the code. Hello? Yes, she is? Yeah, sure. Yeah, Dr. Ham wants to see you. So that's it for today. Here's the code word. Short lesson as we're almost finished.